What's up, everyone? I hope you're having an amazing day. I definitely know I am, because today I get to make some jeans. I think this will be my 12th pair of pants, so pretty excited about that. It'll only be my 6th version of this pattern, so there's some small modifications. I'll get into them in a second, but I'm gonna be using this raw denim, and so it's gonna be like a little 2-part series. In this part, we're gonna make the pants, and then in the next part, we're gonna like be dyeing them and like bleaching them. I don't know. I don't really like the raw look of the indigo, so I'm gonna try to find a way to modify them, but we'll get into that next video. For now, let's cut out our pattern pieces. So here's our denim. It's just straightforward indigo. I think this is either 12 or 14 ounces, but it's a decent weight. And then we have our pattern here. So we have front back panel, waistband, yoke, pockets, and as you can see, I've modified it a bunch, but it has a little flare at the bottom, so they're slightly boot cut. And here, let me show you how they look on body. So this is how the pattern looks. These were the second version of the pattern. I made these out of a black canvas, and I've probably worn them every day straight for the last 10 months or something. So I want like another pair of these same pants without a denim, so I can switch it up a little bit. So back to the pattern. I'm gonna unfold this and give it all a good press so it lays nice and flat. I'm gonna leave it folded in half though, so we can cut out everything double. I'm gonna start here with my front panel, and I'm gonna trace everything out before I cut anything so I can maximize the space on this denim. So let's start tracing everything out. All right, I have everything drawn out. I have my front panel, back panel, yoke, pocket facing, back pocket, the fly facing, the other part of the fly, and the waistband. So I'm gonna cut everything out and start assembling. Let's start with the back panels. So I have both my back panels here, my yokes, and the back pockets. Let's start with the yokes first. I have my yokes here and my pattern piece. So we're gonna put a dart in the top of the yoke so it's more cinched up here. So I'm gonna mark where the dart is marked on the pattern piece. So I marked where the dart is gonna go on the wrong side of my yoke. So now we're gonna fold it in half like that and stitch along this line here. And that way we'll have a clean dart on the other side. This is how our yoke is looking. I put the dart in here and then I top stitched it. Now we're gonna attach the yoke to the back panel. So we're gonna pin it up here and do a flat felled seam. So this is how we're looking pinned up. I pinned it up on the wrong side, so the edges are gonna be sitting to the front, but that way I can fold it over and I'll have a clean flat felled seam. So I'm gonna sew it up. First step, I sewed the yoke onto the panel. Then I cut the excess material from the yoke in half, and then I folded the bottom excess material over it, so it looks something like this. Now I'm just gonna top stitch here, and we'll have our finished flat felled seam. With our flat felled seams done, we're starting to get like this little bit of a 3D look, which is nice. Now I'm gonna attach our back pockets that I folded over and then top stitched the top. I'm gonna attach those, and then I'm gonna do a flat felled seam here, attaching both panels. So we should be looking something like that. So I attached the back pockets and I did the flat felled seam here in the back. And with that, our back panel is done. I'm gonna put this away for a second and start on the front panel. So the front panel is definitely the more complicated one of the two. We have quite a few pieces. So we have our zipper here, fly guard, and then our fly facing. I have a little coin pocket here, pocket facings, and our front panels. And I have to cut out the pocket bag. So I'm gonna do that real quick. This is all my pieces for the front panel. I cut out the pocket hole here. So I'm gonna start with the pockets. I'm gonna take one of these, and this is gonna go folded like that. And so this will be our pocket bag. So I'm gonna sew it on like this and sew it on the top, and then I'm gonna flip it inside out. And so then this will be on the inside. You'll understand in a second. All that I did here was I sewed our pocket panel onto the main panel around this edge. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this to the back like that, give it a nice press, and then top stitch it. Now it's definitely looking like some pockets. Top stitch here. Now what we have to do is fold it in half, like so. And then we take our pocket facings and place them in here. And I'm just gonna pin it up and then sew around this corner. Here are my finished pockets. I put the coin pocket on the wrong side by accident, but oh well. Here's how they look on the other side. I did a French seam to finish it, so it's super clean. And I just stitched it on. And yeah, super happy with the pockets. Now we'll move on to the tricky part, which is the zipper fly. So I'm gonna grab my zipper, my fly shield, and my fly facing. I finished the edges on both of those. Now we're gonna take our fly facing and stitch it on good sides facing. And then we're gonna flip it over to the back of the panel so it looks like that, and then do a top stitch. Now, it should be looking something like this. We're gonna take our zipper and put it on the fly facing, but facing down. Stitch it on the edge and try to get as close to those teeth as possible. Now, we stitched it on, we're gonna flip it to the back, and now we're gonna do our J stitch. So I'm just gonna do a square J stitch. You can do a curved one if you like. I just like the look of the square a little bit more. So I'm just gonna stitch on the back side like that. So now that we have our J stitch done, I'm gonna attach our fly shield to my zipper tape, as you can see there. So it should be looking something like that. Now I'm gonna iron over a 1/2 inch on the right panel, as you can see there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna top stitch this edge to the zipper, getting as close to the teeth as possible. And right at the bottom of the zipper, I'm gonna snip it and flip it the wrong way. That way, we can lock it in with the other side of the pants. Here's how it's looking stitched on. And then we have our folded little excess here at the bottom that we're gonna fold into each other, and we'll get a little clean flat felled seam. Just stitch that down. I'm gonna go down, come back around, and then back up. This is how we're looking. Our zipper fly is all done, and it's looking great, honestly. Now, what we have to do is attach the back panel to the front. So I'm just gonna pin it all up and do a little flat felled seam. This is what we're looking like. Definitely looking like a pair of pants. All we have to do now is sew up the side seams. So I'm gonna sew them up and then finish this edge with bias tape. So as you can see, I put some bias tape on the edges. Now I'm gonna give them a really good press and fold this excess material to the back. And then I'm gonna hit a top stitch here on the inside, but just the length of the pocket bag. Now comes the most important part. I top stitched here, and now we get to put on the waistband. Here's my waistband. I folded it in half, and then I folded the edges over 1/2 inch. And I put this fusible facing on it just to give it a little bit more structure. So, super important. Iron this 12 times. Ironed it so many times, because the more you iron it and the crisper it is, the better waistband you're gonna get. It's very crucial. So I'm gonna start by pinning it on. I'm gonna pin on this side, open it up, open the flap, sew on a 1/2 inch all around, and then flip it on the inside, and it'll look something like that. So I pinned it on, and I folded over the waistband 1 inch here, so we get the clean edges. And yeah, I'm gonna sew it up, and then we'll fold it over. So now we get to fold it over. Make sure to tuck all of the excess material inside. And there we go. Should be looking something like that. I'm gonna give it another press and then pin it up and sew it. So, real quick before we start sewing, I have it all pinned up and everything. But now we're gonna take these little... So, we're in the final stretch. So, here are the pants. This is how we're looking. Honestly, I'm so happy with how they're coming out. All we have left to do now is hem the bottom and put in a button. We should be good. I did all the belt loops and top stitch everything, and honestly, it came out so clean. I think this is my cleanest waistband yet. So super happy with that. But yeah, let's get them finished so we can try them on. So I gave them a quick hem, I folded it over twice and hit a little top stitch. Looks super nice, like it's kind of hidden. But now comes the tricky part, to do the button and the buttonhole. I don't have a buttonhole machine, and my sewing machine has been acting up when I sew buttonholes, so I'm gonna try my best to sew it by hand. This is how they fit. So this is the final product. Honestly, so happy with how they came out. They fit really well, super comfortable. But I'm not the biggest fan of the raw denim look. So I would definitely love to bleach them or dye them somehow. So go drop a comment if you have any ideas of how I can make them look cooler. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Say something, Woody. See you in the next one. Peace.